Hey everyone, this is Matt from endsickness.org. Today I'm going to talk about using the law of attraction and understanding the law of attraction, how it relates to your healing, and why you must understand these basic concepts about the law of attraction and metaphysics if you want to be able to get over your chronic illness. First, let me say I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. I am a holistic nutritionist. This is based on my personal experiences. This is for informational and educational purposes only. So let me get back to the topic. Metaphysics, law of attraction, what is it? What even are these things, right? The law of attraction in metaphysics states that the more you pay attention to something, the more it grows, and what you think about, your thoughts affect your reality. So most people think that reality itself is just a chain of events that occur and you have to react to it and do the best you can to have a reactive, the best reactions you can to what happens in life, right? But the reality is your thoughts, not just your actions, your thoughts are affecting what's coming to you in life. And when you have a thought, you emit a certain vibration with that thought, and you attract realities or circumstances in the future which match that vibration or thought. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you are someone who was abused as a child, and it is something that you still remember, and it's really in the subconscious, it's planted there. Then you start to fear getting into relationships where you'd be abused. You start to look at people at your meeting and say, hey, that looks a little bit sketchy to me. I'm not sure if I want to get into that relationship. And then you find someone else, you say, oh, he looks like the right one. But then you later realize that the person that thought that was the right one is the abuser again. And you say, why does this cycle keep persisting over and over again? I keep finding people and they abuse me, and it's been like this all my life. I don't know if I'll ever escape this. Well, that state of mind is going to attract you to more relationships that will seem appealing. They'll seem like they're the right match. They'll have the right energy, and all of a sudden they'll turn back into the thing you're fearing. And this is how the law of attraction works. If you have certain fears or you have certain ongoing emotions, dominant emotions, then you're going to attract yourself to more circumstances that replicate those emotions or those fears. So if you want to be able to escape this cycle, you have to be able to start focusing on the things that you want in your life. And you guys put your attention there versus the things that happened in the past, the things that are presently not working out for you right now. Put your attention to the future in an idea of having the things that you want, and focus your attention there. And whenever you're in a place where you're troubled with challenging thoughts, put your attention on the thing that you're going to have in the future and what you're grateful for having right now. The law of attraction, metaphysics, makes it very clear to us that our thoughts affect our reality and our circumstances. And when you're healing from chronic illness, you're not going to attract the circumstances or thoughts, and you won't be able to go ahead and implement the behaviors that you need to implement to be able to really finally heal from this chronic illness unless you start to rearrange the way you're perceiving things, rearrange your thoughts, rearrange your perception of safety and danger. And you got to change your belief that things are now working out for you, that was the old story, this is the new story, right? And by feeding into that and continually focusing on the new story and the new version of yourself and how those things in the past fed into your current situation, how you're grateful for those things in the past because they're going to lead to something better in your life. You have to have a narrative where it works out for you in the end. If you don't have a narrative where it works out for you in the end, how are you ever going to get to a place where you're healed? If you're envisioning being sick forever, right? If you're not envisioning wellness and what you're going to do when you become well, how will you ever get well? This is what I had to do. I mean, I was sick for over a decade, and I kept getting stuck in the same thought loops over and over again, and stuck in fear and stuck in an observation of my current situation and being frustrated with the current circumstances. But the reality was, until I actually created a vision of the future and what I wanted and how I was going to help people when I was sick and how this was all going to come to an end and how it was all going to work out, how it was all going to make sense, how this all had happened for a reason, how it was to my benefit. Once I created a different storyline and started to really believe in it and started to see forward instead of what was right in front of me, good things started to happen. I started to attract things to me that allowed me to heal. And this is how the world works. You have to be able to expect healing to be able to find the things that allow you to heal. If you expect that you're going to be sick the rest of your life and you buy into autoimmune disease or Hashimoto's or, whatever condition the doctors claim that you have, you buy into those. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, okay? And you attract yourself to circumstances and rationale and thought loops that keep you locked in the same place that you're trying to escape. And the reality is, unless you break the chains and you start changing your thought patterns, you will not attract circumstances that will allow you to heal. So if you have any questions about this, reach out to me. You know, metaphysics, law of attraction, Abraham Hicks, look it up. These things are the new modern science that show that your thoughts actually project a certain vibration, and in response comes back an identical vibration. And that's why people attract themselves to similar things, is because these things have similar vibrations and they attract themselves to each other. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My website is endsickness.org. I have hundreds of articles, hundreds of videos on there teaching you how to heal yourself through identifying the triggers in our diet, in our environment, in our thinking, in our lifestyle, in our behaviors, and making changes, you know. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.